And you're listening to WPRK 91.5, the best in basic radio, and the voice of Rollins College. And you're listening to Orlando Tourism Report. This is not my normal show time. I have a very, very special guest with us today. I am super excited for that. But before we get into that, I had to call in some help with this one. Jay, I'm happy to report Jay is here in studio again with us.
Hello, I am here. It's been a while, but I come in studio when there are special guests here. We have a very glamorous guest today.
Oh, yes. Yes. Why don't you tell us?
So today's guest, we have AEW Women's World Champion Mariah May. Mariah, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Definitely. We're here to talk about AEW's World's End, which is going to be at Addition Financial Arena here in town in Orlando. If you're interested in tickets, you can go to aewtix.com if that's something you're interested in for more details. But we want to get to know you. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
I mean, you just did my job for me there. You've done the heavy lifting. Yeah. So, yeah, let's talk about me, my favorite subject.
Absolutely.
Which is probably a great subject.
Oh, yeah, great.
You want to go ahead, Ed?
Yeah. So, you know, people, of course, have noted you from around the world. I mean, you know, from Stardom, but now you're here in AEW. You have, what has it been like coming to this area, you know, the Orlando area and such, and really America as such, you know?
Oh, I love America. So I always wanted to live in America. Growing up, I always wanted to be a wrestler and be on TV and live in America. And I've lived in Japan for Stardom, which was incredible. And then, I was fortunate enough for All Elite Wrestling to offer me a contract and move to Orlando. And listen, I lived in London, and no disrespect, but anything is better. It's grey, it's dreary, the food isn't the best. So Orlando's so beautiful, it's so sunny, and I feel like there's just so much to do.
Yeah, you get that 1 hour of rain too. You don't get the whole day of rain typically. You know, sometimes during the hurricanes, those aren't great, but
yeah, the hurricanes is a little downside, but other than that, it's pretty cool here.
Speaking of England, there's a lot of food from England that isn't here in America. What are some things that you miss from England?
Okay, so there's one big I miss my family.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's one big thing I miss, and it's the chocolate.
Like Kinder Surprise eggs?
Cadbury's, Kinder, like so many different brands, and the chocolate in the UK is actually different. The ingredients are totally different. So we have Cadbury's in America, but it's not the same. Yeah. So that's I have a real sweet tooth. So that's the big thing I miss.
Definitely.
It's chocolate.
Yeah. I don't know why the ingredients are so different here in America. It really doesn't make sense. There's so many additives.
I always had this weird idea in my head that American candy and chocolate was the best in the world. I think it's just that you guys, it's so big. Yeah. I don't know if it's better, it's just bigger.
I think Belgian chocolate. Belgian chocolate is so good.
It's very delicious. And it's quite nice in Japan too, because their dairy is so fresh.
Sweet Tooth. Have you been to Toothsome's Chocolate Factory at Universal Orlando?
No, I have a little Universal pass as well.
You should go check that out. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Orlando and all the parks and stuff a little later, but there's a place called Toothsome's Chocolate Factory at City Walk. Ooh. There's a bunch of restaurants there, and it's all chocolate foods and stuff. You should definitely.
My goodness, I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, speaking of course, the Orlando, you know. What has been some of your favorite things that you've done here since you've gotten here?
You guys have a lot of really nice places to go on a night out, like socially. Mm-hmm. So not as in like clubs, just like nice restaurants to hang out in and like fun activities like arcades and go-kart racing, which I think is cool to be like, hey, we can all hang out tonight and do something a little different and just chill. So definitely just the fact of the social aspect. I feel like there's a lot of cool ways to hang out with your friends. And look, the weather. The fact that you could drive to the beach. Like, the weather is so good. For me, coming from the UK, that's just a game changer.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I love everything about Orlando. I lived in Tampa my whole life, but ever since I was a kid, I wanted to move to Orlando just because there's something to do always. There's never a day where there's always a concert in town. There's never a tour where they're like, oh, they're skipping Orlando. Well, sometimes there is, but most of the time
they're skipping Orlando. Don't get me started on that. There's a lot of bands I want to see that skip Orlando.
Yeah. When you have friends that visit from Japan, Stardom, or even from the UK, where are places that you like to bring them?
So Mina is actually my tag partner, and she just came from Japan, and we did little girly things like get our nails done, go and work out. But like I said, it's just like, I'm a big foodie. I love going to restaurants. There's like Krishna's, which is delicious, Kabuki, which is my favorite. It's actually Asian style food. So I'm a big foodie. I will take you to eat until you can't eat anymore.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's kind of where we went. But they all say they love Orlando,
Yeah.
because they normally stay in Orlando. I think we have like an All Elite Wrestling. We have like a little training facility here, so there's a ring and stuff. But everyone always stays in Orlando. I feel like it's the landing point for wrestlers.
It does. I think Emmy just opened a school here too, right?
Maybe, probably.
Like it feels like everyone has a school here now.
Yes,
it's kind of crazy.
It's a big wrestling place, which was immediately what kind of brought me here. But it's a great place to live.
No, I love it.
So of course, let's go back up and let's start. What really made you want to become a wrestler? What really started that journey?
So I have two older brothers, and we always used to watch wrestling growing up. So I always said I wanted to be a wrestler, and everyone kind of thought it was like, when kids are like, I want to be like an astronaut, and I never changed. I always wanted it, and then I did other things. Like I was actually an accountant, and I was doing other things, and I still really wanted to do it. And a school actually opened up near me. And I went, and on my first day, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is what I'm doing." So
that's so cool. I was actually reading your first match was against Giselle Shaw. Is that true?
No, my first match was against Nina Samuels.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was in a school gym, and I think there was like 80 people there.
Oh, geez. So there's a reason why it's not really out there, I guess.
yeah, please don't watch those.
Giselle Shaw, though, she's someone that's making a lot of waves within wrestling. Is she someone you might want to see someday in AEW, whether tagging with her or wrestling?
So I've actually wrestled Giselle a few times. I wrestled her. I think we've had 2 singles, a tag match against her. So yeah, I'd love to see her in the ring again, because I wrestled her pretty early on in my career, and she's been around for a long time, and she really helped me kind of grow. And I think the All Elite Wrestling Women's Division is one of the best. So the more people we can bring in who are going to elevate each other and bring something different, I'm always open to. So if she wants some competition, she knows where I am.
She was at All In, so she definitely saw you win the title. She knows where you're at.
And I haven't seen her since, so maybe she's scared. I don't know.
Could be.
So before we get into really AEW, we got to talk about Stardom for a second here. So what I want to know is, of course, your time in Stardom, but how did that time in Stardom really help prepare you, for AEW / make it so you're just a better wrestler, in AEW? I mean, you're the world champion right now, women's world champion.
In my rookie year. I think for me, Stardom was originally going to be like a short tour of 1 to 3 months. And on my first week, before I'd even had a match, I was like, can I stay for longer? And they said, how long do you want to stay? And I was like, as long as I can. So I moved to Japan on a whim. I had 2 suitcases. But I really wanted to stay there because I think Stardom, and we partner with Stardom, so you can see some of the Stardom girls on the All Elite Wrestling shows. We sometimes go over there. So I think those girls are so incredible at wrestling, and the reason is because of the way they train at a dojo. So for me, I just went all in, no pun intended, and just trained all the time, and the schedule is so heavy. But I think it really prepared me for AEW because it brought my wrestling skills up to a level where I could be on TV. And also because I couldn't speak Japanese, I had to learn to really use my facial expressions and kind of communicate in a different way. But I think, AEW, it is where the best wrestle. Our wrestling style is so competitive, but we're also on TV and we're doing a show and we're having characters. And it kind of taught me how to really use all of myself to sell these different characters. And I came in a storyline with Toni Storm, and it was so well received. And I think part of that was that we've both come from Stardom in Japan, and we really learned how to tell these stories using like just in the ring and our facial expressions. And I think that's why people loved it so much, because I always say pro wrestling is it's like theater, and I think it's for families. And World's End is coming up in Orlando, and I think if you do have kids, it's something that they might want to come and see, because it's so fun. And I think part of that fun is what I learned in Japan, and learning how to sell these characters and tell these fun stories.
Yeah. Well, with something that I think is super interesting too, compared American wrestling to Japanese wrestling, it seems like the Japanese audience really appreciates the moves more, and they cheer, they only clap their hands, really. There's not a lot of screaming and everything compared to what's going to happen at World's End when you defeat Thunder Rosa. The crowd is going to go crazy. Everyone's going to erupt screaming the whole match.
Yeah, I think, the crowds are definitely different. I mean, in Japan, we get a lot of amazing photos. I will say that. Yeah. So I really learned how to get my moments. But yeah, I think it's more like the little tennis matches, the nice claps, and sometimes like a ooh, kind of like a ooh kind of noise. But in America, the crowds get very into it. They do a lot of chants, sometimes at your expense, but it's a lot of fun to join in on. And I always compare it to, like, in the UK we have soccer, and if you ever go to a soccer game, it's just chanting and cheering and everyone's so into it. And it's that kind of atmosphere. It's very fun. It's very lively and you're a big part of something. So, and it helps us as wrestlers when we're in there and the crowd is just having so much fun. You just know that you're doing a good job.
Definitely.
So we talked about Stardom. Now we got to talk about your amazing rookie year in AEW. But more importantly, what happened at All In when you defeated Toni Storm to win the AEW Women's World Championship. What was that like, and what was your strategy like kind of going into that match?
So I always had my eyes on Toni Storm. She's British too, and she started wrestling before me. She's, older than me. But she started wrestling before me, and she went to Japan, and I really copied her journey all the way up until all Elite Wrestling. And then coming in, I was like her little protege and really learned every single thing about that woman, and she taught me so much, which is why I would say I do credit Toni Storm to my successful first year, but she also kind of gave me the keys to her car and I just stole it and ran her over. So All In was a really special moment because it was in the UK, but also it's AEW's biggest show of the year. We're actually coming to Texas this year for All In, but luckily for me it was in London, which was where I was born, and my whole family was there to watch me become more successful than them, and it was a really big moment. And my favorite part was that Toni Storm did most of the work for me.
And during that match, you actually slapped your mom right in the face.
I just felt like she was making it about herself.
Yeah.
So, it's my moment.
Do you think
it's
that's
all about Mariah? Remember that.
Always. Do you think that's the most surreal moment of your career, slapping your mom in the face in Wembley? Or is there another moment, whether in the ring or outside the ring?
I think All In is because my family had only seen me wrestle once before. My whole family had only seen me wrestle once before, and it was my debut in a school gym in front of 80 people. And they know about wrestling, but they didn't keep up too much. I would just send them pictures from Japan. They'd be like, "Cool, that was great." They don't know. And so to bring them to AEW in my first ever year, because they just see me move country and they're like, best of luck. So to bring them there and for them to see me in my first year, and like I said, AEW's biggest show, we had over 40,000 people there, and for them to even be a part of it, I think that was maybe the most surreal moment, to be like, okay, like
this is real.
I did it, you know. So
this is really happening. I'm not just wasting my time, guys. Look at this.
See, guys, I told you it would work.
That's so awesome.
I think because I have to talk about this because this was I was there and I was surprised by this. A lot of people who have seen you wrestle, especially in this area, may have seen you wrestle in a very unique location, and this was at Old Town for Coastal Championship Wrestling, and I think
this is your only Florida match, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't remember this.
So the mixed tag match with Clinton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yes, the mixed tag.
So that makes you undefeated in the state of Orlando, or the state of Florida. Sorry, the state of Orlando.
Central Florida, because it was Kissimmee. That's Central Florida. So
all of Florida. I'm just going to give her all of Florida.
And nothing's going to change either. I mean, Thunder's going to try her best, but we all know who's going to win at World's End.
It's a super unique venue. Just
it's
Old
so
Town.
Intimate.
Yeah. Yes, intimate.
That was very fun, and it was a pretty star-studded match. Too.
Yeah, it had
like
and Breeze in it, right?
It
was crazy.
It had Harley Cameron, Colton Gunn, Mariah May, obviously the biggest
best
star.
part.
All about Mariah.
But yeah, and we didn't tell the crowd. I think we just came out, and they were like, "What?"
No, she is right. You didn't tell the crowd, because when I saw her, I was like, wait, that can't be. No, wait, is that? Wait, that is her. That is Mariah May. What is she doing here?
It was just like this little indie, because we'd gone along to watch a few times. We love watching wrestling. Obviously, we're wrestlers, and one day we're like, can we do something on the card? And we just asked to do this tag, and we just turned up and surprised everyone. I think they were like, what?
Yeah, it's so awesome. Florida is known for having those super unique venues.
Yes.
One of them being Universal Orlando. Universal used to tape at Soundstage 19 for AEW Dark.
Yes.
They don't do that anymore, and they also did Ring of Honor there. Is that something that you would want to perhaps wrestle in someday, maybe in front of a smaller, more intimate crowd?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I think that works. I think for a show like Ring of Honor too, I think that would be a really cool kind of home for it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm biased because I'm from here, so I live here, so yeah. But I'm a really big fan of that. Like I said, I obviously came up on the independent scene, so AEW is a huge show, as we know. We have thousands of people there every week. We're on TV, but I think there's something beautiful to a smaller venue. And like I said, I think the best part about wrestling is the experience for the fans, and it's being able to chant together and have fun together. And there's so many different people from different walks of life, but you all come together because you enjoy this, it's sports. That's what everyone likes. So I would love to see that. I would love to be a part of it. Anything I haven't done, I'd like to do at least once too. So
it's just so different because you can literally just get out of the soundstage and walk over, and sometimes they'd have Halloween Horror Nights going on, and you could go walk through houses or ride roller coasters.
Have a full day of fun.
Have you been to any of the parks?
I've been to Universal.
Favorite rides?
I don't know what any of them are called. I feel like I'm not a true Orlando girl because I haven't been to Disney here yet, I don't think.
No, really?
Yeah, I've been to Epcot, and I haven't really been to there's multiple parks.
Yeah, they have 4. Magic Kingdom's the main one. That's
yes,
Disney.
I haven't been to any of these, and I've only been to Universal. I think I went one weekend, and we went the next day again. So I'm thinking this is what we do at the weekend.
Yeah,
and we never went again. And I have the annual pass.
You gotta go. It's a lot of fun. There's always something new coming.
Oh, I had a great time. Yeah, it's just finding the time to go, but I would like to go. I'm a champion now. I have a really busy schedule with AEW, but
it's crazy.
Speaking of the championship, we gotta talk World's End. And unfortunately, we have to talk about Thunder Rosa sticking her nose where it doesn't belong.
Yeah, what is going on?
She said Mariah may not.
Yeah, that's really
What
creative.
really
does imaginative Thunder. I don't know. I was the main event of Dynamite, so she was obviously sitting in the crowd, which she should just stay there. But I don't know who invited her or who got her a ticket, and she made some quirky little signs and keeps talking about me. And look, I never back down from a challenge. I've been very successful so far as champion, and I said she can pick the time, pick the place. She picked Orlando, which is crazy because I'm kind of a hometown girl. This is my home. I've lived here now for a year. So she picked my hometown, and she picked a Tijuana street fight. So I'm curious to know what that looks like, and I'm very excited. I'm excited to send Thunder Rosa away again.
So how do you prepare for a street fight? Because with AEW, it's a bloody battle. There's just no way to describe it.
Yeah, I think AEW has the best street fights. I did have a street fight against Anna Jay, and I did win. We were the main event of Collision, and I beat her, and she can now no longer challenge me for the world title. So I'd like to do something like that to Thunder, to be honest. I prepare the same way I do for every match, but for this match, like I said, it's a Tijuana street fight, which is a little unique. I don't know what that entails. I think Thunder thinks that gives her an advantage, and she probably needs one because I'm the strongest champion we've had in a very long time. So I have a few ideas. I've been watching her little YouTube vlogs, her little taco vlogs, thinking that might help me. But I've been in the ring with Thunder, so I know what to expect, and I'm just training.
You know a thing or two about vlogs, too. You used to do a lot of YouTube vlogs.
Hey, I made a comeback. Yeah. I'm back. I'm vlogging again, yeah.
Are you doing the live streams and everything?
Live streams, not yet, but I am back vlogging because being a part of AEW, my life is crazy and it's so exciting, and I love to share that with people. So I was pretty good at doing the little TikTok ones, but YouTube is the editing.
YouTube's where it's at.
It's so mammoth though to edit it, but I'm really trying because I'd love to share no day is the same. Yeah. And we get to travel all over the world, all over America every week. So I really want to share that with people because I think it's a really cool
just to have a backup of it,
Yeah.
Your life.
And for me, for my memories, yeah.
So getting back to the delusions of Thunder Rosa, someone else that's delusional that recently returned, Toni Storm. She is back randomly. She seems crazy.
Elite. Yeah.
So you mentioned there's only one reality in this world, and that's you being the AEW Women's World Champion. What do you think of this version of Toni Storm?
I don't care. I think whatever this version is, I do it better. I did it better for the whole year. I think any version of Toni Storm, I'm the better version. But, she needs to do this to find some sort of spot on television again. Yeah. That's fine, but she's not going to come near me because she's just a rookie now, I guess.
Well, I appreciate this interview because I know you're a very busy schedule, so I don't want to keep you on your schedule. So I appreciate you coming for this. So if people are curious about World's End, you can check out AEWTix.com for more info as far as tickets are concerned. Jay, where can people find you?
I'm on Blue Sky at just Jacob, Jaycob.
Blue Sky now. We're into it.
Mariah, where can people find you?
My username is MariahMayX on pretty much every social platform, but you can, of course, catch me on Dynamite. That's on a Wednesday, and Collision, and they're on TNT and TBS if you'd like to see what it's all about. It's a lot of fun.
And, of course, you can see her at World's End, happening December 28th at the UCF Edition Financial Arena. Should be an exciting show. I can't wait. Of course, also want to note that we do have Final Battle, ROH Final Battle this Friday for Honor Club subscribers, which I'm super excited. I will be going over that this Friday on the radio, so I'm very excited for that. And yes, you can follow me at Captain Drax on Twitter and on TikTok. You can follow the show, Orlando Podcast, on Twitter. And if you missed any of it, be sure to check out OrlandoToursReport.com for more info. And of course, Orlando Podcast on Twitter and on Blue Sky. And as always, love your city, eat your tacos. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.